I promised a video about how to install the NUKI lock in one of our doors. So I have an Alu 7 door in our treehouse office here. Super cool. Side note, you should come check us out. We work in a treehouse here in Washougal, Washington. It's Pivot World headquarters. Anyways, this is our door and I'm putting a lock on it so you can't come steal all our secrets. And we're gonna use the NUKI lock. So the first step is gonna be to remove the existing cylinder. The cylinders in our doors are very easy to remove. You just have to access the edge of the door where you see this Phillips Phillips screw. Just spin that out, and all Euro lock cylinders are standardized around one size, so they're very easy to replace and exchange, and they just slide right out of the door. So that's what we're going to replace with the NUKI lock cylinder. Super easy to do. Let's head over to the desk. I'm going to show you how to assemble the cylinder so that it matches this exactly. We'll slide it back in and I'll show you how to set up the NUKI lock. All right, so we're gonna start by looking at the NUKI universal cylinder because this is gonna be the most important part for adapting the NUKI to our door. When you open up the box, this is what you're gonna see. The first thing is this card. Do not lose this card. This card's really important because on the back of it, there's a security code that I'm not gonna show you that has the key code for your door. And so you can order keys to match based on the code that's on this card. So keep track of this, it's really important. You can just order new keys on their website. Anyways, we're gonna dig in deeper. And this is the universal cylinder, which we looked at in the last video. What's really cool about it is you can see there's different spacers and things like that so that you can configure it for a multitude of different doors. I'm gonna configure it for our Alu 7. So the way you do that is you take the lock cylinder out, you open it up, it comes with a very handy dandy Allen key. And this is gonna allow us to take this cylinder apart and make it match the lock cylinder that we just took out. So what you can see here, this is our existing lock cylinder, and clearly it's much longer to the exterior than to the interior, which is the opposite of what we have going on with the NUKI lock right out of the box. So we're gonna take this apart and we're gonna turn it into this. Very easy to do. If you look in the bottom of the NUKI box, you're gonna see all of the extension rods that come with it to make this possible. To start with, there's an Allen key right here on the end, and NUKI has a great video for this, so I'm really reinventing the wheel here. You can totally check out their video, it's great, but it's kind of fun to do, so I figured I'd show you how. So pull the screw out, and what we want to do is come up with a combination of spacers between this central piece that makes it match, right? Just like that. So I've cheated, and I did this already, and the spacers that I like on the back are just spacers 1 and 2. They're labeled, and when you put them up, it makes it so that it matches in depth there, which is exactly what we want. So we're gonna do spacers 1 and 2. Because we've taken out this much of the lock, we then need to switch to a smaller screw, but thankfully, they include all the screws we need. So we're gonna go with this little screw here and get this screwed in, okay? Now for extending the exterior portion of the lock, we have to remove this rod, which has 2 Allen keys on the bottom. Loosen them up. This is all really nicely machined. I believe these are made in Hungary, designed in Switzerland. Really a nice product. So we go ahead and pull these out. And then you can't just pull the rod directly out. It has a little trick to it. You just twist it 90 degrees like that, and it slides right out, okay? And we are going to switch to use the longest extension rod, so the 55mm extension. We just rotate that in, and now if we put it back together, we're going to see that we have a big giant gap here, right? Fortunately, NUKI includes spacers, and what we're going to use is the 20 and the 5mm spacer. Okay, so here's the 5mm, and if you look really closely, it's got little not detents, it's sort of like a gear, and it engages from section to section. And we're gonna use the 20 and the 5, so here's the 20. So I just take these off, slide this off, and I can slide these on, and you just need to pay attention that that little gear engages with the next cylinder, and they go on in one direction. They have the brass little button there right on the end, just slide that on, and then you kind of twist it so that it engages, and you can see how it just popped in. And I'll do that again with my 5 here. Gotta get it the right direction, spin it around. Slides together really nicely. And then I can take the lock and slide it on. And I have a really nice lock cylinder there. And we can just compare that if we want to our existing one. So we've got them, sorry, let me get them nice and lined up for the camera there. These guys line up and look really good together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Reassemble it. So you just put the screws back in. So we got those nice and tight. All right, so what we're looking at here is the 20 and 25 spacer, and then the numbers 1 and 2 on the interior spacer. So it's the 20 and the 5 on the exterior, and then the 1 and 2 on the interior. Okay, that's how you want to set up your NUKI lock. The last piece we want to do is if we actually open up the NUKI cylinder itself, it's going to have this guy, and this is what the lock actually mounts to. And I was a little presumptuous in putting this together, so I got to take this screw back out, and we will screw this on so it's all one nice unit. So everything is machined super nice, fits together. It's really fun to put together for an engineer like me. And there you go. Just all goes together nicely. And these come with just a little bit of blue Loctite on them, so you're not having them come loose all the time. Really nice, well thought out, well packaged solution. All right, so now that we have this done, we're gonna head back over to the door and we're gonna install the lock, and I'll show you how that works. All right, we're back at the door. We've got our cylinder all set up. We've got the NUKI lock ready to go, so let's slide it in. So we just slide the cylinder in just like we took it out. I've got this screw here. This goes in on the end and screw it in. It's as easy as that. Okay. What I really like about the NUKI lock compared to some of the other European smart locks is that this has a solid mounting base that's right on the cylinder, so it's super secure. With the cylinder secured, we can go ahead and take the body of the NUKI and we're ready to mount it. It has this little yellow adapter wheel that we need to slide over the little tab sticking out of the lock. Then we grab the lock and it has the little NUKI you can read on it, or it has the charge port. Charge port's gonna end up at the bottom and the NUKI's gonna end up at the top. To put it on, we rotate it so that the NUKI, you'll feel it, is at about 1130, I'd say, and then you just give it a twist, okay? And it clicks into place. You can feel it, there's a real positive click. If you need to remove it ever, you can grab, there's a little button, just give it a twist counterclockwise and it comes off, right? So slide it on and it's in place and we're ready to go. All right, so our next step is gonna be programming it. Let me switch so you can take a look at my phone as I do that. It's super cool. Once we have the lock installed, it's time to program it. And so we're gonna do that on the NUKI app. Go ahead and click on set up a device. We're gonna open up the smart lock. We'll set it up, we give it a name. You have to hold down the center button to pair it to your phone. And you just do that for about 5 seconds. It'll start glowing and then that really automatically connects with your phone and it starts whatever it's doing. I don't know, configuring the lock. It asks for a security code, which you have to set. And once you've done that, the smart lock is connected. This is great. It has a tons of stuff you can add, geofencing, you know, so that as you walk up, it's gonna open up when you're in Bluetooth range, super cool. I wanna show you though how it works really quick. So right now, the lock is unlocked, and so I can click on lock it, and it automatically drives everything out. It's super fast. Click it again, and it unlocks. So this is pretty slick. We can also do that by just pushing the button, right? Also makes the lock function. We can also just use it normally. So if we don't want to use anything, or if somebody doesn't know how to use the app or whatever, it's a very simple thing to lock and unlock. The other thing though that is super cool about this is that they have wireless keypads like this. And so I'm gonna go ahead and set this guy up because it's actually really cool too. So to do that, we're still in the NUKI app and we just go back to devices and we're gonna add an accessory and we'll add the keypad and go ahead and click. We have to hold the play button down this time for 5 seconds and it will connect to the keypad. And what's great about this is this keypad has a fingerprint. You can set up different codes. It takes a little bit to set up, so we're gonna kind of fast forward some of this. But we choose a code for our door, right? So let's see, 135791. Okay, so those are just all the odd numbers. Okay, and now we add our fingerprint. So we just have to put, just like on an iPhone, we're gonna go ahead and say add the fingerprint, and you just have to, you know, tap your finger here a bunch of times until it can learn your fingerprint. So you can also set up a tap feature, which is really nice. So in this, you can use either the NUKI app or you can use a smart home device. I'm gonna go ahead and use the NUKI app, and all you have to do is put your phone close to the lock and it opens a button, and then you tap it and it changes the lock. Okay. Then I also selected that if you push the back button, it's going to go ahead and lock the door. Okay. And then I can try our code 135791. And it unlocks. And then if I go ahead and use my fingerprint, it unlocks. So this comes with sticky tape that you can mount it with. It also has screws that you can mount it with. Pretty cool little device. Slick setup from NUKI. Really pleased with these.